Welcome to A Spiritual Lens, a podcast dedicated to seeing the world not just as it appears, but as it truly is. A spiritual lens is where we will begin to unpack profound insights, helping you to look beyond the surface and discover the underlying truths that shape our lives. If you've ever felt there's more to life than what meets the eye, you've found your community. Join us as we learn to see the world and ourselves through a spiritual lens. Here's our instructor, Omari Jahi.
Hey, good morning. I'm your host, Omari Jahi, and welcome to A Spiritual Lens. This morning, we are going to start a spiritual lesson series surrounding a book we wrote entitled Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. Now, I wrote this book, well, maybe I should say, I've been writing this book like for the past 10 years, and the creator finally inspired me to complete it. And so this is it, Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. So I guess we will be covering, we will be covering 13 chapters. This book has 13 chapters, and we will be covering those 13 chapters of this book. But we will start with the first chapter this morning entitled The Purpose of Life. Now, if you would like a free copy of the book sent to you, send your email address to us at aspirituallenspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's a spiritual lens with an S, podcast, no S, @gmail.com. So we're going to really get into some really powerful stuff today. You know, the book Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth is a book of guidance and instruction for the man and woman who have come to an understanding that there is more to life than being born, growing up, getting a good education or a job, getting married, raise a family, growing old, and then inevitably dying. So we may ask ourselves this question: what is life all about? Now, I have a video of my teaching on this subject, that I'm going to use the video, and then maybe periodically, if need be, I'll stop the video and make little comments, or if you guys have questions about anything that says, put it in the comment section, and we'll address your question, okay? So with that being said, let's play the video.
In our overly materialistic world, much focus is placed on things. We begin to measure the quality of our lives by what we can call our own, and less on how we feel, when in the end, it is actually the feelings that we are after. We want to feel good. That's why we go after these things. The new car, the newest cell phone, all these things make us feel good, and it makes us feel important and make us feel like we are meeting a certain status, social status. I'm not poor. I'm not ghetto. And so if I could have the best hair, what they call it, I think it's Egyptian. I'm not, as you can see, I wouldn't know nothing about hair, but I think Egyptian, that's the best hair that women can get when they get the weave and stuff like that, right? I'm believing that that's what that is. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not an expert. I really don't know, but I believe that Egyptian hair is supposed to be the best hair that you're supposed to get. But I'm only saying that to say that we want to feel good about ourselves, and if we can fix ourselves up and paint ourselves and put on a so-called quote unquote designer clothing, be able to afford these things and walk around in Gucci and all of this stuff, then these are the things we seem to focus on more so than anything. Our health and happiness have this in common: feeling good. We want to feel good. We want to be healthy. We want to physically be okay, right? We say, but it is that simple. If I desire, if I despair, meaning if we get sad or whatever, if our despair arises out of displaced valuing, then we can begin to focus on what is outside of us instead of on what is inside of us.
Now, this despair thing that we're talking about, you know, it's feeling self-conscious about ourselves. You know, when people criticize us and talk about us, whether we got short hair, you know, that's why a lot of people wear extensions now. You know, well, I shouldn't say people, but women put extensions in their hair because they've been ridiculed and talked about because they have short hair, you know, or if their hair is nappy or whatever. You know, we become self-conscious about these things. And this is what we're talking about when we fall into despair. You know, we become sad, we become self-conscious or whatever. Because of these things, that's when we begin to start looking outside of ourselves for improvement instead of looking within. And that's kind of the basis of what's being said here.
And the tables will turn by themselves. So what this is saying is that usually when we begin to start focusing on materialistic things, it's because something has caused us to feel despair or to have some form of what would I call it? It's not self-doubt, but when you feel bad about yourself and you know, maybe it's because people are talking about you because maybe you don't have the designer clothes or you ain't wearing the new gym shoes that everybody is wearing or this and that and another. Or whatever it is, when we begin to feel like that, when we start feeling that way, this is when we begin to start focusing on the outside instead of what's on the inside, fixing that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Look what else it says. It says, if you were to corner anyone and give them a choice between living in their present circumstance or not living at all, the bulk of us would opt to continue living.
That is true.
The majority of us.
I mean, think about this. I don't care what we're going through. We could be homeless. We could be whatever, you know, just lost your job. You know, you can get into a depressed state of mind, but, you know, there's still, even in that, there seems to be some value. We seem to hold some kind of value to our life. We don't really know what the value is, but, you know, we don't know what the other thing is either. You know, what's on the other side, death. We don't know what that is either. Only thing we can comprehend is that life no longer continues to exist. You know, and so this is again how we find ourselves in this kind of situation.
If we were given an option, live in the condition that you're in right now, or you can not live. I'm not going to say kill yourself or anything like that. It says have a choice. We would choose to continue living. We make that choice because we feel that our lives have value. But the thing that's supposed to give our lives value is purpose. Now, if we don't know our purpose, and a lot of times I believe we've drawn the conclusion or come to a conclusion that our purpose for life is we're born, we get an education, we go get a job, a nice job because we got an education, a high school diploma, college degree, this and that and other. We get us a nice job. We find us a good spouse, male or female, whatever.
Oh, let me clarify that. Men with women, women with men. Spouse. Okay, just want to be clear.
Be able to buy us a home, have children, grow old, go on vacations, and then die. That's the good life. That's not why God created us. That's not a purpose. I mean, that's what we strive for, but that's not why we were created. The only way to know what your purpose is, you have to ask the Creator. Let me give you an example. Look at this. Let's say this water container here, right? Let's say I created this. I created this water container, and nobody can tell you what the purpose of this water container was created for but me. Now, other people can tell you what they think it was created for, but the only one that knows exactly why this was created is the Creator, which is me. Y'all feel me? So, if I said this container, if I say this container was created to hold that where people could be able to go on road trips and not have to make bathroom stops. I created this container for that. Now, somebody else might take this and use it to put water in, wine in, whatever, soap. They can use it to, you can use it to hold just about anything. But would those things be the purpose for which this thing was created? Or were they, what would we call alternatives? Would those things that they were using it for be the alternative other than its purpose? And so if you use this for water and wine and put soap in it or whatever, if you fill it up with marbles, or if you fill it up with M&Ms, whatever you use it for, if it's not being used for the purpose for its creation, then it is not being used properly.
So look at this. If God created you and I, each and every one of us, if He created us, then how can we know our purpose if He don't tell us what our purpose is? And at some point, if we don't know, and we don't know how to find out, again, this is why I always say that we need a guide. And I believe that's what ministers, preachers, and pastors are for. They're supposed to guide us into a greater understanding of our relationship with our Creator, God. So again, in order to really understand and know your purpose, you have to know and understand God and have a relationship with Him.
So I'm saying this about us. I'm saying that the Creator created us for a purpose. And this is what we're trying to discover, what that purpose is. But in order to find the purpose, we have to accept the reality that these reasonings that we have accepted for ourselves is not it. Now, I can hear some of you saying, how can you say that that's not it? Let's look at, you just ask yourself, do you feel that you are fulfilling God's purpose for you? Do you feel that you're fulfilling God's purpose? I'll just ask that question. Some of you may say yes. But then we got to really go into, again, and that's what this is about, what that purpose is. Do you ask yourself, what is the purpose of life? These are 3 questions you should be asking yourself. Why am I here is another one. Why am I here? And what is the reason behind all of this? All of this stuff that goes on around us. The whole system of making money, the whole system of reproducing. I mean, this whole judicial system.
Government shutdown, the unnecessary killing. I'm just hearing that last night 14 young people were shot last night downtown. What's the reason behind all of this? And if we do ask these questions, where are the answers? We really don't get answers. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't understand purpose. And if we could understand what our purpose is, then we will have a better understanding of why the world is the way it is today. And we would be able to move and make decisions in order to correct those things. How do you say it? Make it make sense.
I mean, all of this. What is the reason behind all of this? Look at this. This is something that's out of the book. I'm going to read this for you. All these questions are intertwined and simply a variation of each other. They are basically all related. We will examine these questions and their deepest core, or to their deepest core, I should say, and hopefully we will be able to gain some understanding. Those are some fundamental, sensitive, you can call it philosophical, metaphysical, or psychological questions. But the truth is, these questions have been plaguing man for eons. We've been asking ourselves these questions. What is the purpose for life? Why am I here? What is the reason behind all of this? Mm-hmm. And another question we're going to address in the next chapter of the book, which is going to be in the month of March, is why did God make me black?
Update. You know, this is a video that I recorded a couple of years ago. And in our actuality, that chapter that I'm referring to, it's like, I believe, the third chapter in the book. I believe second or the third. And so it won't be March that we will be having this teaching or this study session on from the book. It'll probably be somewhere like the late December or early January in the new year that we'll probably be having a lesson plan dealing with why did God make me black. So I just wanted to clear that up because I know you heard in the video it said March. I didn't want you to be confused. Okay.
I'm sure that's what folks, and that's going to be a very deep chapter, beloved. I'm telling you, you need to really tune in March and make sure you get to hear what's being taught here about why did God make us black? Why? Okay. But look, not all individuals necessarily raise these questions. Some people haven't thought one thing about why I'm here. What is all this? What's the purpose behind all this? No, but there are people that ain't thought not 1 second about it. So some live their lives and in such a deep sleep that there is no need to ask these questions. Some of us is just comatose. We walk around. We're in you might as well call it a matrix. We get up in the morning. We eat breakfast. Well, maybe that's not the order. You get up in the morning, go to the bathroom, use the bathroom, wash up, brush your teeth, eat breakfast, leave, go to work. If you have children, take your children to school, go to work, do your hours at work, eat lunch, come home, pick your kids up from school if you got kids. If not, go home, watch TV, eat dinner, go to bed, and start it all over again. Never asking any questions. What is this life leading me to? Why am I doing this? We've never asking. This is what it means by some of us live in such a deep sleep that there is no need to ask these questions. Life is a daily routine for us. There it is. We wake up every day at a certain time, go to work on our daily chores, come home.
We don't have a clue, y'all. We don't have a clue. We ain't even looking for a clue. We just going through the motions, the cycles.
This is what life is for many of us. No questions are being asked. Hence, no answers are needed. Life just flows, but only in one direction. Life become linear, like a straight line. And we teach this all the time at Toma. You know, the EKG, when you're in the hospital, and it is dealing with life and death, and they hook you up to the machine, and you see it's doing this beep, 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 beep. This means you're alive, right? It's going up and down. Flatline, they call it, the dead, right? Which one you prefer?
We know we all want to live. Again, we already said that. So kind of what this is saying is that life has ups and downs in it. That's what being alive is. It's about having ups and downs in life. This thing that we're constantly being taught about the straight path or being right means you have to do everything on the straight and narrow and things of that nature. You know, that's the path of death. I mean, it's just common sense, you know, but again, everything is being reversed. It seems like one meaning of the thing is being flipped to the other meaning. If you're like, let's just use the term hot and cold. If you do something that's really great and is good, you know, people could say that's cold. You know, so the whole meaning of cold now is being used now for something that's a good thing in contrast to what it really was, dealing with something freezing or cold to the point that where you can't really deal with it. You see, and so the definitions of things are being flipped. And so you got to really keep that in mind. I'm going to keep with the video.
See, and this is what's being said here, dealing with lives are just straight lines, linear. It's death, really. Walking dead. Nothing more. No new flavor, no new joy. But we are okay with such a life. One day, death comes, and we die completely unaware of the tremendous potential hidden inside of us. You know, and this is what I want to make us aware of, that hidden potential, that thing that we don't even know exists because we don't ask questions. We don't question anything. Everything, only thing we question, we'll say something like, well, why they go up on the bus fare? That don't make no sense.
See, we question our question, like we question why did the government shut down? We question, you know, why are these kids killing or being killed or killing one another and things of that nature. But then after a day or two, we go right back to living the life, you know, as if none of this stuff ever happened.
We have to understand that there is more to this life than just this daily routine that we seem to find ourselves stuck in. There are people, and this is why another reason why I'm doing this show is because I'm hoping that what we are teaching here reaches the people that I'm about to speak about now, because there are some people out there that are deeply unsatisfied with the events happening in life. I'm one of those people, extremely exhausted from all the efforts and not finding peace and contentment anywhere. There are people in this world like that, you know, just unsatisfied. I'm not saying depressed and giving up. I'm talking about people that are asking the question, why is this life like this? Why am I why am I here, God? And then say,
You know, some people ask the question, why do God allow kids to get killed? You know, some people ask that question, but we don't get, you know, again, when you understand why things are, and this is why you have to look for things, uh, um, you have to become something more than just a person that's just accept things that are being given to you or told to you. You have to go out and investigate. You know, that's what that's all about.
it's out of this group of individuals, some, not all, but some, seek for an answer
Yes, seeking.
and become what is called seekers.
Yes,
They start looking for stuff. They not only ask questions, but they start looking for the answers. So they go to this church and they go to that church and they study this religion and they study that religion and they read this book and they read that book. Look, they're looking for an answer. Others from this group may get lost in the web of these questions. They run here and they look there and just looking for answers, and they run all over the place, and usually we find them going crazy.
you know, people go crazy because they become extreme. They become extremists. You know, and they go off the deep end. You know, it's like they either all the way right or all the way left. No middle ground, no balance, none of that. And this is why people go crazy when they begin to start seeking and looking for answers to things. And then when they start seeking, and a lot of times they fly off into esoteric stuff all about in space and this and that and another, and they just go off the deep end, you know. And so this is kind of like what's being expressed here, you know, about people going crazy. But it's not that seeking this drives you crazy. It's when you become extreme with it.
Not knowing, looking, knowing that this is not right. And so, beloved, we are created beings. And just like everything else of technical substance that has been created, come with an instructions manual. An instructions manual describes the function of the created things. Our instruction manual is the Holy Bible and the Holy Quran. These holy books illustrate and communicate the function of man and woman. They also give a historic account of man and woman's interaction and relationship with their creator. So the answer to the commonly asked question can be found in our interactions and relationship with God. Whoever controls our comprehension of our God controls our comprehension and understanding of our purpose.
All right, y'all. That kind of wraps everything up for us for this week. We'll be back next Saturday, and we'll start right off at the conclusion of this and finish this off about the purpose, and then move right into the essence of Black. I believe that's chapter 2, what we're going to be talking about. And it's very important to understand what that really is, because a lot of people don't really comprehend that, what Black really is. You know, it's more than just skin color. You know, we need to understand what it really is and what it represents. So with that, we'll be back next Saturday at 11 a.m. And again, if you are interested in following along, you want the book, email us your email address to a spirit podcast@gmail.com. Until next week, we'll be blessed and we'll see you. Okay, take care. Peace. Hair grease.
Our time together has come to an end, but the journey continues. Thank you for holding this space with us and for being an essential part of the Spiritual Lens podcast. As we go our separate ways for now, I ask that you carry the energy of this conversation with you. If you feel inclined,